But it's Sunday. Did anybody go to church? Yeah. Wait a second. Raise your hand if you went to church today. 1, 2, 3. Out of 150 people, we got 14 hands up and 7 of them lying. My church is right here in my heart. God knows. They're not even putting their hand over their heart. Heart is over here. My hand is in my temple is in my heart. Okay, well, that's good for the 130 of y'all that didn't go to church, because now we got to go to church. We got to take it to church, but it's the best church ever. Ain't no offering plate. I think I'd be like, God damn, the offering plate coming around again. And you know you're not supposed to say God damn in church. God damn, the offering plate coming around again. But what you gotta do, right? You gotta look at the veterans. The veterans slow roll that. They slow roll the collection plate. You know what I'm saying? You don't put $5 in that first. Put $1 in. 50 cents. Who said 75 cents? You're a veteran. She's a veteran. Okay, well, let's go to church, y'all. Put your hands together for Jane Minister. Jamie. The Minister Jamie Games, y'all.
All right, thank you, Rose. Thank you.
Jamie!
Amen. How many love the Lord? I love the Lord. Not just because of the mess that He got me out of before I got saved, but I'm talking about the mess He got me out of since I've been saved. Touch your neighbor and say, I know that's right. Preacher, I gotta get a touch your neighbor in there while I'm walking, right? Yeah. But you know what's funny about that touch your neighbor thing? Is when the preacher, you're at church and the preacher starts telling you to touch your neighbor, but then you didn't have an argument with your friend or your wife on the way to church, and he's saying touch your neighbor, and you saying, I really do want to touch him. Yeah, but it's good to be here again tonight. You know, God told me, He said, well, if you're going to be doing these shows, He said, well, you're going to have to leave the people at least with some kind of a message. So the last time I came out, the message that I left with the crowd was that it's all right for Christians to have fun. And that laughter is good for the soul. I even told them to show me your 32s, your 10s, your 22s, whatever you have left to purchase. I wanted to see some smiles. But the message tonight is a little different tonight. The message tonight is that we're all sinners saved by grace. And that's why you shouldn't judge anybody. I said that's why you shouldn't judge anybody, especially if you're in church. Because see, even in the church, we got sipping saints. We got cussing Christians. We got fornicating fellowship. We got gossiping gospel singers. We got picket playing parishioners. We even got check bouncing believers. But the number one thing that we deal with in the church, really. Now again, we ain't gonna judge nobody, but I just want to talk about it. One of the number one things that we deal with in the church is drinking. Yeah, drinking. And the reason why it's the number one thing because see, everybody always try to justify their drinking by saying, and y'all can help me, well, Jesus drank wine. Right? But I'm gonna tell you, I have seen some funny drunk situations in church. I mean, funny situations. There's a story told about this one church member who was pulled over for speeding by a state trooper. State trooper pulls him over and he walks up to the car and he sees an empty wine bottle on the seat. And he says, "Excuse me, sir, have you been drinking?" And the church member looks at him and said, "Yes, just water." So then the state trooper says, "Well, tell me, how come I smell wine?" And the church member says, "Oh, Lord, he done did it again. He done changed my water in It was a drunk lady in church, and the preacher was preaching. I mean, he was into it. He was preaching. He was, "Oh, the Lord is good." He was getting down. He said, "Oh, he brought me out of darkness into his marvelous light." He was getting into it, and the drunk lady, she stood up and said, "Preach, nigga, preach." There's some funny drunks in the church. Now, true story. This is a true story. I was preaching a funeral. This was last month. I was preaching a funeral, and it was a drunk lady at the service. And I had just got up to give the final words for the deceased, getting ready to give all the great qualities that this woman had possessed. So I got up and I got about 5 minutes into my introduction, and one of the family members was drunk. And she stood up and started walking towards the podium talking about, "Put that mic down. Put that mic down. Stop talking about my aunt." And you know, at first I was like, "Oh no." But I played it cool. You know, I played it cool. And because see, the only thing I could really think of immediately came to my mind was that scene from that Richard Pryor movie, Which Way Is Up? When Leroy had went into the church and the rap said, "Oh Lord, please help this woman who has come into this place to blaspheme. She is filled with lunacy. Have mercy on her." So I want to say, now sit down, fuck with this glove on your mouth. Yeah, but it's some funny. We ain't talking about we're not judging. We just talking about it. Another crazy thing we deal with in the church is we deal a lot with the picket playing permission. Yeah. Oh my God, picket playing. This was a crazy one. I was sitting in the pulpit, and I had needed a piece of paper to write down a phone number. So I kindly asked one of the choir members who was sitting behind me to hand me a piece of paper so I could write down the phone number. Do you know they handed me in the pulpit 2 picket tickets? I mean, like it was okay. So I took them in, but I just happened to look at the numbers that was on the ticket. Now one of the tickets, it said 777 string box, and then the other one it had on there 93. It had 777 on one of them, and then the other one had 9311 string box. So I was curious, you know. After service, I go pull their coattail, right? I said, listen, man, I ain't judging or nothing. I said, but I'm just curious. You know, how do you come up with your numbers? You know, when you play the picket. So he said, well, the Lord gave me those numbers in the song. So I'm thinking Martha Sack, perhaps maybe a Yolanda Adams song, Smokey Norfolk. But he said, no, I was listening to Prince. So I said, well, what song was it? He told me, 777 93 11. Crazy. Man, we doing a lot of crazy stuff in the church. Crazy. Now, I tell y'all, we got some check downs and believers. And there's this one person who writes checks. Now, I've heard of the months January, February, March, April, But every time she gets checked, the date on it be May 15th. But you can't fault her because she do have faith. Amen. I tell you. Another crazy thing, man, I always often wonder why the sisters in the choir always got to hook up with some bum brother. Why sisters that sing in the choir like them hoe chasing, freebasing, whiskey sipping, cocaine sniffing, pill popping, child support ducking, another man sucking devil? I never understand. And it's crazy because see, they sing to the glory of God, but then all of a sudden they develop a candy mentality. They start singing, and then again they develop that candy mentality. See, they start out looking for an almond joy as they gaze into the Milky Way, and then they unwrap their Kit Kat and give it the Three Musketeers, only to find themselves still looking for Mr. Goodbar, and then 9 months later they singing in the choir and they got a baby Ruth. Boy, I tell you. But I came up with the resolution for all the church problems. See, a lot of the church problems stem because, see, we got a lot of preachers who act like they don't have no struggles. So you get the people all messed up. So my solution is that you got to bring in some actors now who should be preachers. Can you imagine Bernie Mac coming back as a pastor? Can you imagine that? Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Bernie Mac. I want to talk to you for just a few seconds. I want to show you something good out the book. Talk 3 sisters and tell them, don't let the devil take your milk and goods. Or how about Morgan Freeman as Pastor Joe Clark doing an altar call? Can you imagine that? He come out. What's he giving the problem? Get to my altar right now, expeditiously. Let's put the chains on the doors. Get to my altar right now. Mr. Sands, you smoke crack, don't you? That's the kind of stuff we need. Or how about this one? Can you imagine Denzel Washington taking up an offering? Denzel, now I'm not talking about the nice Denzel from like John Q, but I'm talking about Denzel Raw, like Training Day. Yeah, it'll probably be something like this. Come out. My members. Yeah, yo, you don't want to put nothing in the plate? That's what you tell me? You don't want to put nothing in the plate? Oh, yeah, see, you got your $500,000 homes, you got your businesses, you got your good job, but you don't want to put nothing back to God's pocket? That's what you telling me? You some fool, disloyal members. Yeah, y'all gonna be sitting in hell when I get through with you. You better get into your pockets right now and give up some money. Can you imagine him doing it? That's the kind of preachers we need. Yes. But to change things. But another thing I deal with crazy as a youth minister, man, I deal with some crazy kids, man. Some of these kids, they sit in these churches, man, whoo, they lost their mind. I don't know, it just seemed like so much drama in their lives. I mean, they start out young and restless, thinking that they're bold and they're beautiful. But they act like they're from another world. They ain't being led by the God in life. Talking about, they don't even realize they only got one life to live. Talking about, mama, can you help me with all my children? They driving me crazy and I'm getting ready to end up in the general hospital. Now, a mother brings her son to me because, you know, the son is, he's trying to be sexually active. Now, you know, I mean, it's a touchy subject in the church, but it's real. So she brings him in to talk to me. Now